Just kind of realized as I was finishing my last book of the year, so this is like a PSA if you use Storygraph. She has this weird fantastical element that she'll throw in, but it feels very real. This is so cute. It's like Spotify Wrapped, but for reading. Now what we are going to do is What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So it is a gloomy day outside today. It's very overcast, and so I've just been in the mood to kind of do some bookish things. Coming up on the end of the year, beginning of the year, I always have some book related things to do. This is going to be like all of the prep and stuff that I do related to my Reading Around the World challenge, related to my reading journals, finishing out the old one, setting up the new one, all of that fun stuff. This is the one for 2023. Can't really see that. It's my Moleskine. I am switching up the brand of journal for 2024. I went to Barnes & Noble a couple nights ago with boyfriend, and we kind of browsed around, and I just didn't find any colors this year that I really liked. I ended up on another one. I found a really gorgeous color. I'm really excited about it. I'll show you guys later in the video. I haven't really opened my Reading Around the World document recently, and so I'm just kind of feeling discombobulated because I don't really know exactly where I am with it. So we are going to sit down and we're going to do some fun bookish things. So I am glad that you are here with me. Grab yourself a little hot cocoa or a cup of tea, and let's dive into it. So I thought I would quickly show anybody who is interested what my title pages, I guess that's what you would call them, in my reading journal look like, just to give you guys ideas if you are setting up a new one for the year or you've never done this kind of thing before. Basically, the last book that I read goes on to this page, and then I always set up a new one. I try to set up a new one on the right side, but if I feel like I'm running out of space at the end of the journal, I will sometimes put one on the left side. So I just do the dates that I read it, so the date range, and then we have the rating at the top, so that's out of 5, so 1 through 5. The title, the author, self-explanatory, the genre, and then the page count, which if it's an audiobook, which I did not read, or I didn't listen to a lot of audiobooks this year for whatever reason, but this would be duration, or you could put minutes and hours, or hours and minutes, instead of page count if you weren't reading a physical book, and then pub date. So whatever date, whatever year the book was published. Notes or anything from a quote that I found really beautiful or interesting. Sometimes it's a little bit of summary if it's got more of a complex plot. And then at the very end, I'll usually draw a line, and then that's when I put my own personal commentary and thoughts. So that's kind of how I do it. I don't know if it's going to change. Might be a little bit different with my next journal, but I'm going to pop my notes in here real quick for the book that I just finished. Okay, it has been quite a while. It is now dark outside. Some time has passed. Dinner has been eaten. I've been messing with an AirTable. Basically, what I wanted to do was change my doc, my just Google Doc, into something that was a little bit more spreadsheet kind of organized. And so I've been playing around with it. And then there was some sort of error. I don't know if it was my Wi-Fi or if it was on their end or what the deal was, but it reverted to the default one that it gives you. And so a lot of my stuff was removed. So now I'm back plugging it back in for the second time. Anyway, I've put in about 25 of the books that I have read or that I plan to read. I think most of them I've read. Some of them are just, I need to buy them. I'm going to continue to do this, and then I'll show you guys when it's done. So So something that I'm doing that you guys might find really interesting, as I go in and put dates in for like in the Airtable to keep everything organized. This kind of only works, I guess, if you use Storygraph, the app. Whenever you scroll through your reading log, whatever they call it, it does have a date on there, so it will tell you when you finished it. So I'm going back through and looking at when I finished them so that I can log it in my Airtable. And then I'm gonna organize it by the date, I think. Now that all of that is like saved, I'm gonna go through. I had a whole bunch of screenshots that I saved from you guys leaving me recommendations, because you guys have been excellent leaving me comments on all of my Reading Around the World challenge videos that I've been posting. I say all of them. I've posted 2 of them so far. There's like a part 1 and a part 2. Some of you, like, when I ask for recommendations, you give me recommendations. So I need to take the time to go through and actually look up the books, read the description, see if it's a country that I need to read for, and then if it sounds like something I'll actually enjoy, then I can add it to my Airtable. So this one's a good one. It might take me a long time to go through this particular one. Some of your recommendations they've been really great. I'm gonna get to putting these on here. The one that I just finished, I'll actually pop it on the screen for Vietnam. That was a good one. I'm gonna start looking up some of these so that I can see if there's any that I want to add. Okay, this is what I've got going for the Airtable so far. So you see book title and author on the far left, the country that it's from, and then I chose to do a little status drop-down menu. So the ones here that say undecided are like recommendations that I've been given by you guys. And then I also have a status of purchased. These are ones I have decided to read but haven't read. And then the blue status is finished. So those are the ones that I have read with a date that I finished it, and then a rating out of 5 stars. So I pretty much have everything on here that I've read so far for the challenge. So this should be up to date, I'm pretty sure. And then obviously just like every few months or so, I'll pop in and update it. Okay, it is even later. I have just been watching like best of 2023 book videos, so that's been really fun. I'm getting a few recommendations. If it doesn't sound like amazing or it's not a translated work, then I already have so many books that I'm trying to read. So anyway, that's putting me in a better mood though. Now what we are going to do is type up my table of contents for my 2023 reading journal. This one is pretty much done with. So I have these 2 first blank pages. I always leave that blank for the table of contents, and then I start my notes on the next page. So anyway, these 2 blank pages is where I will type up. I type it up because it just looks so much nicer. I tend to write a lot bigger than what I can fit in the dots here, so it looks so much better when it's typed up and printed and pasted in. So I'm gonna go through and literally just look at the book, look at the title, look at the page number, and then create a table of contents on a Word document. I'm pretty much done with my reading for the year. I have to finish 1Q84, book 3 of 1Q84, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in here in my table of contents. And then I have a few manga, I think, that I want to read, like 1 or 2 more volumes. So I'm gonna preemptively type them and just make sure that I finish actually reading them before the end of the year is out.
produced by fungi, is used in all fizzy drinks. Lowering statins. A host of powerful antiviral and anti-cancer compounds, including the multi-billion-dollar drug Taxol, originally extracted.
What? Okay, now I have to read it. That reminds me of, did you guys ever see V for Vendetta, the movie with Natalie Portman that came out, gosh, early 2000s, something like that, and she writes on a piece of paper while she's in jail? That's fascinating. I'm gonna have to read this now just because of that comment. I'm so glad that that person left that little detail, because that's crazy. I just thrifted like 5 of those books off eBay, so I'm pretty pleased with that. I think it's going to start my year off strong with my Reading Around the World challenge, because I do have a few back there somewhere. I can't remember which pile it's on that are for my Reading Around the World challenge, but I want to try to get through a lot of them, which means reading shorter books. I just know if I'm gonna get through a decent amount of books in a decent amount of time, I need to start finding thinner books. So I think all the ones that I just ordered were all like 250 pages or less. So I think that's gonna be my new, like, one of my parameters is gonna be that they really can't be over 250, 300 pages, something like that. I feel like that'll keep me moving a little bit quicker. If I'm at least reading 1 or 2 of those a month, probably more than 1, like 2 of those a month, I feel like I'll be on a pretty good track. Maybe even more than that, because if I do 2 a month, that's only 24 books in a year. And there's a lot of countries, so I may have to do like 3 in a month. So we'll see. Good morning, everyone. It is my birthday today. Happy 30th to me. I've just been reading, as you saw. I am getting closer and closer to the end of 1Q84. I'm on page 1034. And then I've just been sipping on a coffee that my mom brought me. She swung by a coffee and then she swung by my present, which I was going to show you guys, because it's book related. I didn't even know this book was out. We were at Barnes & Noble and it was up on the bestseller, you know, the Bday at the very front of the store, like the bestseller list. And I immediately recognized the name of the author because I have read her before and loved her, and that is Melissa Broder. Oh, I have my card in there. Melissa Broder's Death Valley. So I think this is going to be my first read of 2024. Very exciting. I have read The Pisces and loved it. I read Milk Fed and loved it. And I've also read So Sad Today. I think that one's by her. But it's like an essay collection. There's a couple more. I know I haven't read all of her stuff. There's a few more that I haven't read, but had no idea that she had come out with a new book. So I'm pretty excited to jump into this. It's not too long. She just looks so cool. I don't know. She's all the vibes that I want to be when I become a published author as well. Even though it definitely has more of like a summer vibe to it, I feel like maybe it will kind of get me out of this winter funk. We also have some blue sky this morning, which is, I'm living for it. It's the best birthday gift ever. It is a darkly funny novel about grief that becomes a desert survival story. That sounds really interesting. It says, in Melissa Broder's astounding new novel, a woman arrives at a Best Western seeking respite from an emptiness that plagues her. She's fled to the California high desert to escape a cloud of sorrow for both her father in the ICU and a husband whose illness is worsening. What the motel provides, however, is not peace but a path, thanks to a receptionist who recommends a nearby hike. Out on the sun-scorched trail, the narrator encounters a towering cactus whose size and shape mean it should not exist in California, yet the cactus is there, with a gash through its side that beckons like a familiar door, so she enters it. What awaits her within this mystical succulent sets her on a journey at once desolate and rich, hilarious and poignant. This is Melissa Broder at her most imaginative and universal. This is Death Valley. I don't even remember reading that when I picked it up in the store and read through the little blurb. I didn't even care what it was about. I just knew I was gonna get it because it's her and I love her. I love her stuff. Her books are set in reality, like they're set in present day, you know, just like our world, but then there's always some like bent to it. There's always some tiny little twist, some little speculative magic that she dusts over the plot, and it's so fascinating. Like a cactus with a door in it that she goes inside, like maybe kind of Alice in Wonderland sort of vibes. The Boston Globe's review, it says, Broder has a rare ability to ground her fantasy in reality without undermining her imaginative vision, making it feel personal and raw and relatable. I think that's the thing that I like about it too the most, is like she has this weird fantastical element that she'll throw in, but it feels very real. Like she just makes it feel so real. Also, can we just look at the card? My mom thought she was being very clever. Sorry if you can hear the heater, but it's still freezing outside. Thought that was clever. So I don't know where I left you last, but something that I just remembered, or just kind of realized as I was finishing my last book of the year. So this is like a PSA if you use Storygraph. Anyway, something that I need to go through and do is actually look at my notes, my 2023 books, and I need to go through and make sure that everything that I have listed, I need to make sure that that is accurate. So I'm going to go through real quick, go through and look at all 12 months, and make sure where it says, so this one says 4 books, and I can check myself. So January, that's right, I read 4 books. So I'm just gonna go through and do that with each month and just make sure that I actually logged everything, because the whole point of me coming on here and telling you this, if you don't log a read date, like if you don't put dates in, you just click that you read it, it doesn't actually show up in your stats, like on your reading stats page. I guess because they don't know, the app doesn't know where to put it, like it doesn't know what month to put it in. I'm just gonna go through and double check that I actually put in like a date for everything so that it's all accurate. All right, it is that time. I'm very excited to officially switch over from my old journal into the new one. So I have just pulled out all the things that were in the back pocket of this one, and I pasted the table of contents in. As you can see, it's all in there with the page number and the title of the book. These things I'm gonna put in the back pocket of my new journal. I love this color. I fell in love with it in the store. This is the A5 size. So this one is a soft cover, but it has lines on it. So the only thing that's gonna be really different, this one I just had dots. And I think it will actually kind of help me stay a little bit more, like a little bit neater. We're trying something new this year. So and then you've also got the back pocket, which is very important. I'm gonna shove all of my crap that I took out of my other journal into it right now. Oh, also this one has the pagination. So there's 123 pages. I think that's what it said. It's already paginated for me, which is really nice. So the last thing to do is to put the year on the cover with my embossed label maker. So let's do that. "2024. Cute. All right, guys, it is the next night, and it is time to go through my Storygraph app and figure out which books I gave a 5-star rating to this year. Oh, that just terrified me. Okay, it's on 2024. I was like, where'd my information go? That's weird. It's weird to see an empty circle. That's kind of exciting too, though. Anyway, we're gonna go back to 2023. Oh, they do a little reading wrap up for you. Wait, that's cute. It says, "Congrats on a wonderful reading year. I finished 83 books." You finished reading 83 books across 19,684 pages, 40 plus hours of listening time, like audiobook listening time. Storygraph a mood map of your reading. Lighter books push the line up, darker books push the line down. Like the content? Interesting. Darker books push the line down. So I started off super light and then went really dark, I guess. Interesting. Books, pages, minutes. I will probably put all of this in my next video, which is my 2023 favorites video. Least time spent, most days spent. That is accurate. 1Q84. Authors you spent the most time with. This is so cute. It's like Spotify Wrapped, but for reading. I think that's so cute. 2023 average rating was 4.2. So either I give very easy rating for books, or I just had a really good reading year. So, okay, this is the part that I just gave you a little preview of. I was hoping for that. You see at the bottom, 5-star reads. I'm going to scroll through all those. And then my next video will be all about my best reads or my favorite reads. So I hope you had an amazing reading year, and I hope that you find some recommendations in my next video, which will be up in a couple of days after this one. So thank you guys for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.